Social media users and some lawmakers lambast the Bureau of Customs for nitpicking on Philippine Airlines crew members who brought in 40 kilos of undeclared onions and fruits. On January 10, the BOC confiscated over 15 kilos of onions, over 4 kilos of lemons, and a kilo of strawberries and blueberries from 10 PAL crew members. Netizens questioned the alleged double standard of the BOC. Senator Raffy Tulfo says there was no need to humiliate the PAL crew since the goods they brought in were for their families. Senator J.V. Ejercito questions the BOC's seeming misplaced priorities. Netizen Robbie Mariales says this is a result of the government's failure to address the basic needs of Filipinos. User @coconut_block suggests bringing home onions as pasalubong illustrates the desperate times Filipinos are in. Others share the view the airline crew brought in goods that were not in commercial quantity.
All right, y'all, man. I'm going to try to get myself up in here real quick. But good job back again. Once again, let's lock in. Shout out to the IPA. You already know what it is. Man, look, I was at home with the wife for a second, and we were watching this thing on Instagram, right? And I was like, damn. Can you believe that drug smuggling is no longer an issue in the Philippines? Now it's onion smuggling. They said that onions were going for 800 a kilo, I think. 800 pesos a kilo. We're talking $16 a kilo for the little shallots, the little onions, the red onions that we buy here in the United States. So something that may have cost like 10 pesos, 5 pesos when we were actually living in the country a couple years back. Now, a lot of people were asking, why is this happening, man? It's onions, bro. It's onions. Why is this a thing now? And the video explained it, man. What's happening is, supply is low, like hella low, right? And I do believe that the cartel, so he says, is now becoming involved in the smuggling of onions and shit. It's the craziest thing that I've heard in a long time. Onions has now become the new hot commodity. Onions have now become the new standard, right? But if you haven't been in the Philippines and you don't know Philippine cuisine, you really don't understand the value of onion in a lot of the cooking that they do in the Philippines, right? You usually put onions in your adobo, you put onions in your tapa, you put onions in a lot of different signature dishes that come out of the country. So if you want to continue making your signature dish, you got to pay the piper. You got to pay the price for it. And right now it looks like 600 to 800 pesos a key, which is roughly about $16 a kilo, I think. That's a lot of money for some fucking onions, right? So as a result, a lot of places are probably either discontinuing certain dishes at the restaurants, or they're having to charge more in order to be able to, justify being able to buy the onions. Or, like I said, it's either the customer's going to pay for it or they're going to pay for it. And 9 times out of 10, it's coming out of your pocket. It's damn sure ain't going to come out of theirs. But ladies and gentlemen, we are in some really interesting times when onions is now the hot commodity coming out of the country. Onions are now the new drug. People are probably slanging onions on the corner now as we speak. Talking about, I got that good, man. What you want? You want that 5? You want that 20 ball? And that's determining the size of the onion and shit. It's crazy. Makes no sense at all. But it's unfortunate that this is happening. I mean, it's just another thing that's going to plague the Philippines, of course. But like I said, I hope they pull through it. But this looks like something that may be around for a little bit of time. And I'm saying that because I don't know how they're going to combat the shortage. The only thing they could do is possibly import. But by importing, it's still going to run you the same amount of money. It's still going to cost you to bring, those types of products in country, which is why you hear about people trying to smuggle onions into the fucking country. It's crazy bananas, ladies and gentlemen. But I ain't going to waste your time, man. I just wanted to talk about that one. That was the craziest thing I've heard all day today. Onions, the newest hot commodity coming out the Philippines. And it's expensive. Right? Who would have ever thought that onions would be expensive? I remember hearing about how sugar and shit was expensive back in the day here in the States and shit. Sugar and like tea leaves and stuff like that. That was the hot commodity. We couldn't imagine that being such a delicacy or that being such a rarity to get that people were paying top dollar for it. But now it's like the use of onions in dishes and shit and how, you know, how easy it was to come by and how easy it was to get. And now it's starting to become extremely difficult to obtain, let alone be able to utilize, because you got to be able to afford it. And if you're running your little Karen Deary or your little sorry store, whatever it may be, you're not going to be able to sell it like that, right? You're not going to be able to put in your dishes like that. Or if you do, you're putting in half an onion, maybe this much of the onion, just so that you can conserve it and, you know, restore it for the remainder part of the dishes that you need onions for. So I can see this plague in the country for a little bit, at least people who are in the food industry, people who like to just cook for themselves. I guess your upper echelon probably don't give a shit, but now it's like people are probably trying to find ways to get onions for the low so that they can sell it on the high. And I never thought that would be the new commodity, man. Fuck Shabu and all them street drugs they got out there in the Philippines, yo. It's all about the onions now, y'all. It's all about the onions. Doc's on to the next one, man. Just want to throw that little tidbit of information out there for you, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.